This is what we call a vernal pool, or an ephemeral pool. They fill with water in late winter, early spring, because of all the snow melt and a little bit more participation that we get, precipitation. The water table is a little higher, and so it allows for these pockets to fill with water like this. And it's temporary. In the summer, they'll dry up. So fish can't survive in these pools, and most big predators won't be found in them. And so frogs and salamanders and some insects can take advantage of that and lay their eggs in these pools, and those eggs will hatch out. The larvae will swim around, tadpoles and such. They'll grow up, and then they'll metamorphosis into adults as they emerge from the pool just before it were to dry up. So we're going to sample this for a little bit. Alright, so I have a green dip net, and it's got a nice long pole so I can swoop into the water and try to scoop things up. I'll try to hit some of the leaf litter and such that are on the bottom. It's got a mesh on the bottom part, that way all the water can go through, and all that's going to stay in here are the solids, the leaves, and hopefully maybe a frog or a salamander. So I got my waders on, that way I can wade out as a sample. We know there's some things in here, but hopefully we'll be able to catch them. We'll keep giving it a shot as we go. That's good.
Sure. Go.
You good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we have another pond here. This is a different vernal pool that was right next to the one we were just at. It's actually got a wood duck box sitting here. They put these out because wood ducks will nest in them. They like this type of habitat. So here we dip netted a newt. I told you what it was. But you can see it's got the red spots on the side. That's the red spotted newt. When they're in this stage, this adult stage where they're breeding in the water, they got this greenish brown look to them. More of a laterally flattened tail, helped swim. And if we flip it over, you can see it's got these black pores on those back legs. And that helps me determine the sex of this individual. It should be a male. So if this was something we were interested in collecting data for, we could take a series of measurements on him. The easiest thing to do would be put him in a bag first. That way it makes taking measurements a little easier. This was a bag I had on me. Normally I would use like a Ziploc bag. And once I have him in the bag, then I can kind of push him towards the end, flatten him out. I can measure from the tip of his nose down to his cloaca. And so that's called a snout vent length, and this would be about 43.17 millimeters. I could do the same thing with the tail if I wanted to look at a tail length. Those are two popular metrics with amphibians and for frogs as well, but for frogs I would just have a snout vent length since they don't have a tail. And then I could also take a mass. So this scale doesn't work so well. I don't have a light enough scale for little guys like this. I'm used to snakes. But this is called a Pasola scale. Pasola is the people that make these. It's also called a spring scale. And what it does is if you put the animal in the bag, kind of like what we had the snakes in earlier, if they have weight to them, you can see that red line, well, it would start pulling that down and you can see how much they weigh. Since he's very light, we really can't tell how much he weighs. So that way we could get mass, we could get sex, We could get snout vent length and tail length, and those are your basic measurements when you're looking at an amphibian.